Building discipline rarely happens in big moments. It's formed in the quiet choices, finishing the workout, sitting down to write again, or sticking with the steady, unglamorous work that actually moves life forward. Most of us assume discipline is about willpower, forcing ourselves, pushing harder. But what it really comes down to is this. Discipline isn't forged in the spotlight. It's built in the small decisions to lean into discomfort and prove to yourself that you can stay with it. One of the most powerful training grounds for that? Cold exposure. Not because it's trendy, not because it's extreme, but because stepping into the cold is a direct conversation with your nervous system. Every instinct screams, "Get out, it's too much." And yet, if you breathe, if you stay, you're teaching yourself something profound. I can meet stress, and I don't have to run from it. Cold exposure isn't punishment, it's practice. A few deliberate seconds of discomfort become a classroom for calm, resilience, and discipline you can carry into the rest of your life. What most people don't realize is that your nervous system is adaptable. The moment you step into cold water, the stress response activates. Heart rate spikes, adrenaline surges, muscles tense. It's fight or flight in real time. But if you steady your breath, slow inhales, long exhales, you send a new signal. I'm safe. I can handle this. With repetition, your system rewires. Stress no longer feels like an emergency. That's why cold exposure is more than a health hack. It's discipline in action. It strengthens the muscle of choosing discomfort on purpose and staying calm while you're in it. And the effects extend far beyond the shower or the ice bath. Stress tolerance rises, focus clears, mood lifts, inflammation drops, recovery improves. The cold is a mirror. It shows you how you meet resistance. And with practice, it teaches you something else. You're capable of far more than you thought. Cold exposure is best understood as a controlled challenge, a kind of laboratory for discipline. Unlike random stress, the cold is predictable. You choose when to face it, you decide how long to stay, and you know it will end. That combination, chosen, safe, time-limited discomfort, makes it the perfect training ground. Each second you stay, you're practicing three things at once. You're regulating stress by calming breath while your body urges you to escape. You're building discipline by holding a line you set, even when it feels uncomfortable. And you're reinforcing identity by proving to yourself, I'm the kind of person who does hard things. The cold becomes a metaphor. If you can stand in icy water and stay present, what else might you face with that same calm? The challenging meeting, the tough workout, the difficult conversation, they all feel different once you've trained that capacity. This is why elite athletes, entrepreneurs, and performers embrace cold exposure. Not because it makes them superhuman, but because it sharpens the most transferable skill of all, meeting discomfort without breaking. So how can you approach cold exposure in a way that's safe, effective, and sustainable? You can begin small. You don't need an ice bath on day one. Just finish a normal shower with 15 to 30 seconds of cold water. That's enough to activate the stress response and begin the training effect. With time, you can build gradually toward 1 or 2 minutes. Consistency matters more than intensity. Breath is the anchor. When cold hits, breathing speeds up and turns shallow, the alarm of your nervous system. Your practice is to slow it down. Deep inhale, longer exhale. That single shift tells your body, we're safe, we can stay. And that skill carries over into every stressful moment outside the water. Pair the practice with intention. Don't just endure. Before stepping in, remind yourself, I'm training the part of me that stays calm in challenge. Or, I'm practicing being someone who follows through. When linked to identity, cold becomes more than habit. It becomes reinforcement of who you're becoming. If showers aren't possible, alternatives work. A simple face dunk in a bowl of cold water or a morning splash, both stimulate the vagus nerve and create a similar reset. The point isn't the method. The point is rehearsing chosen discomfort in a way that fits your life. And of course, safety matters. Cold is powerful, but it isn't for everyone. Anyone with cardiovascular conditions, high blood pressure, or medical concerns should check with a professional first. Never combine cold exposure with breath holding in water, and always progress gradually. The goal isn't suffering, it's training, a deliberate stress that strengthens rather than harms. Wim Hof, known as the Iceman, brought cold exposure into worldwide attention. But beyond headlines of climbing mountains in shorts or sitting in ice for hours, his story began with loss. After personal tragedy, Hof turned to cold water as a way to cope with overwhelming grief. At first, it was survival. The cold demanded focus and pulled him into the present. Over time, it became method. Breath, cold, and mindset combined into a system for resilience. Scientists who studied Hof and his students found measurable shifts. Cold exposure with breathwork influenced the immune system, lowered inflammation, and improved stress response. What seemed impossible, voluntarily shifting those systems, turned out to be trainable. His path is extreme, but the lesson is universal. Cold can be more than physical challenge. It can be a practice of reclaiming calm inside chaos, proof that body and mind are more adaptable than we often believe. The biggest mistake with cold exposure is treating it like a stunt. It isn't about shocking your body for bragging rights. It's about training your response to stress. Pushing too hard, too fast, often backfires, leaving you discouraged or even injured. Another trap is practicing without intention. If you only endure, you miss the deeper transformation. The fix is simple. Start small, stay safe, and connect the practice to who you want to be. Cold is just the medium. The message is discipline. So let's review. Cold exposure is not just a health hack, it's a discipline practice. Short moments of discomfort train stress regulation. The benefits ripple outward into clarity, recovery, and mood. Beginning with 15 to 30 seconds at the end of a shower is enough to start. Pair it with intention like, "This is who I'm becoming." Use alternatives like a face dunk if needed, and always respect safety. Every time you choose the cold and stay, you cast a vote for resilience. You prove to your nervous system that discomfort doesn't control you. Over time, that training changes how you meet every challenge. Because if you can meet the shock of cold with calm, you can meet almost anything. Thanks for watching. If this helped, subscribe for more. And if you'd like the tools and systems we create, both free and advanced, visit ThriveFoundryLabs.com/tools. Everything is organized in one place. The cold never truly gets easier. What changes is you. Every breath, every shiver, every second you choose to stay is proof. You can step into discomfort and remain calm inside it. Once you know that, life itself feels different. Because cold isn't just cold, it's training for who you're becoming.